Hey, what is going on, guys? Back again with another recap. A lot of content been coming on the channel recently, so make sure you're loving and supporting that. Thank you for everything you all do, and just MLW is really kicking up. So we're going to be going over the Wildcats versus Pred series. Let's just start off with the fact that the Wildcats and Pred series was one of the most interesting series I think this far, and it wasn't really one of the ones that I guess I really expected to take a lot of takeaways from. But the other ones left me more confused, and this gave me a little bit of a clearer picture of what's kind of been going on for the season. The Wildcats are having kind of a mid-tier season, in my opinion, compared to where they should be. Because currently, if you really think about it, they're kind of off to a very slow start. They just, it's not really fully realized yet. And it could spell, some not good things for them in the future. So we'll go game by game, and I'll get into more of that soon. The first game was a 1-0 victory for the Pacific Predators, and it was kind of one of the most interesting games, I would say. Basically, the story came down to is that both Ryan and Kyle had 0 earned runs in the game. 0 earned runs. Ty Smith was this game, didn't do much, had 2 at-bats, struck out once. Jackson Pearson got 2 walks and a K. Nick Saylor didn't do anything. Kyle Schultz didn't do anything in this game. The big story came when Alec Warda got a run off a base running error. Going from first to second, Jackson Pearson misses him. He's able to go around second and third and make his way all the way to home. And that was the game. Kyle played really well this inning, and Ryan, was lights out too. And probably would have gotten into extras if it wasn't for that fielding error. And that really cost the Wildcats in this first game. Second game, the Wildcats stormed back and won 4-2. Stephen McGlade didn't look as sharp as he usually is, but he's playing against some Wildcat hitters that are really good. Nick Saylor played pretty well. This is the first time, though, that we saw a group that was able to really see Nick Saylor, which could spell detriment in the future for the Wildcats. He came out with 2 hits, 2 earned runs, and 2 walks. Steven basically just had double that, everything. Steven had more Ks with 8. Nick Saylor only had 7. In terms of batting, both Kyle and Saylor had home runs. Cratch hit the only home run for the Preds, and Alec Warda had a hit. Matt Hawley didn't look super good, struck out twice, no walks. Brennan Russell didn't look great too. But the good news for Brennan is that he is still in the MVP race despite all of this. Yeah, it kind of was interesting to see Nick be seen a little bit more compared to where he was looking like a Cy Young candidate. Not that this takes away from it, but is this him slowing down? Maybe. Stephen McGlade is looking like he's having his sophomore year problems where, a pitcher comes in really good last year, and then throughout the league, more and more they start seeing him as time goes on. And I think that's what happened to Stephen in this game, is that people just kind of knew what his ticks are. As time went on, Stephen just couldn't finish out the third, and the Wildcats were able to take it. Now, of course, the fourth is the Toledo game, the Toledo series. And it was a dominating victory for the Preds, I guess. Cratch had only 3 hits. Only got 1 earned run off of our RBI single, and had 8 Ks. Looked really solid. Kyle, however, where his game 1 was really good, his game 3 was not good at all. 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks. He only had 6 Ks. At the plate, Saylor had a double, but other than that, we're looking at zilch from Kyle, nothing from Pearson, other than some walks, and Nick Saylor had all the hits on the day. For the Predators, they look really good. Cratch had a couple of hits, Alec had a hit, and Brennan had that huge grand slam home run to win it for the Predators. And it was pretty good. I think the series really showed the solidness of the Predators, a lot of consistency, which is what you want to see from a playoff team. There's a lot of consistency. The only problem is that they're not having that second arm as great as we would like to see. But Steven still has some time before the playoffs. I think at this point they're pretty much a shoo-in, especially after beating the Wildcats. Their last 2 games are the Magic and Cobras. I think the Cobras will give them some trouble, but the Magic are in a pretty bad slump at the moment, and we'll see how they do against the Cobras. But my prediction is that Cobras are pretty much going to dominate them, and it's not going to be close. But that's just a prediction, and I know nothing, so who cares? Kyle this year is 0-3. Kyle this year is 0-3, which is a crazy stat to think about. And if you probably asked anybody if Kyle Schultz was starting the year 0-3, I'm pretty sure they would all say that you're crazy. I would have said that you're crazy. But he is currently not pitching the best, on par to where he should be. He has double the ERA, basically, of a guy like Robles and Trevor Bonham. I know he's only pitched one more game than them, but Ryan Kratch is a .92 ERA, probably pitched about the same amount of years as Kyle, and Kyle is getting kind of knocked around this year. Dallas Allen has a 0, he is in the middle of all these people. He's behind guys like Brendan Schultz. He's behind guys like Brendan Baranowski, and only barely ahead of guys like Tommy Coughlin. To put it in perspective, Kyle's played one more game and only has 6 more Ks than Tommy. However, where Kyle is doing good is that he has the least amount of walks in the league, besides a guy like Trevor Bonham. Nick Saylor is the same. So, what does it say about Kyle? Currently, Kyle is struggling with letting up hits. He's hitting the zone well and putting it in, being able to put it in there, but a lot of his mistakes are coming based off base running errors, fielding errors from his teammates, and also just not being able to control, I would say not being able to get batters off guard as easily, which it comes from a guy who's been in the league as long as Kyle has. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. However, Kyle is really not having the season that we expected him to have. Now, not to say that this makes Kyle a bad player. This does not make Kyle, trash. He's still doing well on Ks. He's limiting hits. He's just not having the season he's supposed to have. Where this does come in, though, is that this is the first year since 2019 that Kyle Schultz may not be a shoo-in for the MVP. Now, of course, it's a fan vote and everything like that, but in terms of pitching, he is not having his best. In terms of pitching, he's not having his best statistical season. In terms of batting, he's also struggling. He's currently the worst Wildcat in terms of average. Of course, he's keeping up with home runs, but I think this is the first time that he is behind. He is in the bottom half, even bottom quarter of guys in the league in terms of average. Usually he's a 300 consistent guy, and he's looked really solid. Kratch looks like he's having another MVP level season. Alec Warda is playing super well too. Brennan Russell is also playing super well. If they can get a role player to maybe hit in some games, get some, get better over the season, it'll be really good for them. But again, this is all speculation. We'll see. The only problem with the Preds is that they're still missing that second arm. Stephen McGlade has been better, but he's not doing super well in the way that we would like for him to do. So we will see. It's a toss-up. I expect to see. I expect both these teams to make the playoffs for sure. But that's just going to be in time. Kind of to wrap this up, the Wildcats are in a little bit of slump. The Preds look like they're going to be very solid this season. Both of these guys have pretty easy, out-of-conference games this year. It'll be one of their easier seasons in terms of schedule, and this could be just an underperforming year for them. We'll see. I think the Preds look really good, but Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I think this is kind of a little bit of alarm bells for Wildcats fans, since the Preds took it in pretty convincing fashion and were able to play really well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.